Medical Director here at Culpeper Media Network, and I am happy to be here today to speak with Kirstan Knipple, the Executive Director and founder of Mom2Mom. So Kirstan, do you mind sharing a bit of who you are and what Mom2Mom is?
Yeah, like Nicole said, I'm Kirstan. Mom2Mom is a nonprofit based here in Culpeper. We service 8+ counties. We service Culpeper, Orange, Madison, Greene, Louisa, Fluvanna, Charlottesville, and Albemarle counties. We help moms and families get diapers, wipes, formula, and personal hygiene items at no cost. And we also help them connect them to area resources.
And I've noticed you connecting a lot of people to resources through your Facebook page, which we'll get back to later. So in terms of distributing to diapers and hygiene items to moms, why is that need there?
So a lot of the population I found is they're at a line with their income where they either they don't make enough to live, but they make just over the income limit to qualify for any kind of public assistance. I've been that mom that's had to choose between buying diapers and paying my electric bill, and I don't ever want a mom to feel that way.
Well, it's a great resource you provide to the community. We're happy to have you in studio today to talk about it. So what inspired you to do this? You just recently celebrated your 2nd anniversary of Mom2Mom. So how did you get started? What inspired you?
So I was on furlough. It was over COVID 2020, March of 2020. And I was at home. I was on furlough. I was lucky enough to get a severance and unemployment from my position at the time. And I was at home, and I've always been really resourceful, and I've always had people ask me like where they can go to apply for food stamps, where's the nearest food bank, all of that good stuff. And so I was like, I had a bunch of people asking me all at once, and I was like, you know what, let's just make a Facebook page to help with that. And I was sharing, links to food banks and how to apply for WIC and how to apply for Medicaid and all of these different resources that were going on. And then I realized a friend of mine was running the Greene County Facebook page for resources, and she was doing a diaper giveaway. And I was like, I can do that. I'm not doing anything anyway. I'm sitting at home. Well, then came the diapers and the wipes and the formula. And I was like, well, people need pads and tampons, and they need feminine hygiene, and you need shampoo and conditioner and all of that stuff too. So it kind of just snowballed. And it literally blew up overnight. That was in March or April of 2020. And then in November of 2020, I applied for nonprofit status. And February of 2021, we got accepted for nonprofit status.
Speaking back 2 years ago, in the heart of the pandemic, going back to nonprofits,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of nonprofits in the area that were struggling, that were having a very hard time when
Mm-hmm.
the pandemic hit. What made Mom2Mom flourish during this time? Why do you think you had such a great success?
I think it's because we were providing a service and a need that was needed in the communities, even pre-COVID. This is a necessity. My kids were in diapers pre-COVID. I have a 7-year-old and a 12-year-old, so it's been a long time. But that was a service needed before that, and then over COVID, it was definitely needed. And looking a little bit now, a little post-COVID, we're starting to get there. It's still needed. It's always been needed, and it's because there's no government assistance program to cover diapers and to cover wipes. There's WIC to cover formula, but that only covers certain kinds of formula, and then even to get the other kind of formula, you have to have a doctor's note to need that kind of formula, and you still have to income qualify for a WIC.
Oh, wow.
Babies didn't ask to be here. And there's between Huggies and the National Diaper Bank Network, they've done studies, and they found that a lot of families reuse diapers, which in turn can cause infection. They can cause health problems, rashes, a variety of different issues by reusing diapers or by leaving the baby in diapers longer to make the diapers last. And so what I'm hoping to provide to these families is a service so these babies don't have to go, so these families don't have to go through this as well as the babies go through this as well. We do everything from newborn diapers all the way up to pull-ups.
Wonderful. So all age ranges can
All
benefit from Mom2Mom and those services you offer.
Yes. Even kids that are special needs, I can connect them to resources to get pull-ups for special needs children
Wonderful.
when they're older. Then they're too old for regular stuff.
So how many people, you said you served 8+ counties, so how many people do you serve?
So over the last 2 years, we've served roughly close to between 300 and 400 families.
That's incredible, 300 or 400 families.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And that's diapers, wipes, hygiene products, formula, and resources.
So yeah, that makes you a very unique resource in the
sure
community. And I can tell already that the community has responded amazingly
Yes.
to Mom2Mom. Would you mind sharing a bit about the community partnerships that you've done?
Yeah, so we haven't only been received by the clientele side of it, but from the business aspect. We partner with other nonprofits. I work very closely with SAFE, Services for Abused Families. Cindy Hedges, their executive director, we work very closely with them. We refer clients back and forth. We work very closely with Thrive, also now known as, they just changed their name to LifeSpring.
Okay.
They're now LifeSpring. They just rebranded. Also known as the Pregnancy Center. We work very closely, relaying clients back and forth. We're also very in with the Chamber of Commerce. They've been a very big supporter of us and have spread the word about us a lot. Just a lot of the local area businesses. We had a lot of good response from local businesses for the fundraiser this past weekend. And so, yeah, the community's been very accepting of us.
Yeah, and actually going back to the fundraiser from this past weekend, we had the pleasure of going out and seeing it. It was an 80s, 90s fundraiser dance. Would you mind sharing a bit about that?
Yeah, that was probably like, in my biased opinion, it was the event of the year. We had a lot of really good responses. I've gotten a lot of really good positive feedback.
Wonderful.
We made over $950 between our admissions and our raffle. Mountain Run was gracious enough to donate their space for us. And it's something we're going to do in years to come.
I'm looking forward to it for sure. I brought my sister along, and she had a great time too.
Good.
So it's really great to see Mom2Mom's name getting out there in the community. There were a lot of members of the community there. I saw all kinds of faces I recognized and faces I didn't recognize and got to know. So it was fantastic. So from my understanding, Mom2Mom, you mentioned that you have 2 kids. It's been kind of a family project, hasn't it?
It has. My kids get very involved. They love to help. My son's favorite part is to take stuff to my storage unit. Well, he can push the cart he doesn't supposed to push the cart, but he likes to push the cart. But they help. They help with the packaging of items for clients. They help with delivering stuff to clients. They see what I do, and they like to help. And I like to be that person. And I'm happy I like being that role model for my kids, to show them that this is the kind of people I want them to be.
That's fantastic. And you said you serve 8 counties, is that correct?
8+, yes.
8+ counties.
Yes.
And all the distribution and all the packing and everything, that's just you and your kids.
For the most part, I have volunteers. I do have several volunteers who help. And I have a board, a helpful board who helps from time to time, yeah.
Fantastic.
When they can help.
Recently, you just celebrated, as we mentioned earlier, your 2-year anniversary and had a ribbon cutting to celebrate. And you also, as you mentioned, got a storage unit. Would you mind sharing how much of an impact that storage unit has had?
Yeah, that's changed a lot of things. So I live here in town. I live in an apartment, 900 square foot apartment. So up until April, I was storing everything in my apartment or at the Chamber of Commerce. Luckily, Jeff and Amy were gracious enough to give us space there for a while to store some stuff. But we were able to get a grant back in April, and so that kind of, and that's helped us be able to get more inventory. So my apartment no longer looks like a grocery store. But for a while, it looked like a grocery store.
Yeah, I imagine so. 8+ counties.
Yeah, all the diapers and the wipes and the formula and the hygiene products, and it looked like a grocery store. So I'm glad to have my living space back, and I can separate the two now. I can have my Mom2Mom space and my home space.
Absolutely, and you don't just do Mom2Mom. You work at the Star Exponent. You're very busy in the Culpeper community.
I am. That's an understatement. I am very. I work full time at the Star Exponent as an advertising account manager. So I've been able to. That's helped foster relationships.
Oh yeah, networking.
Networking. I'm also very active in the Culpeper Chamber of Commerce, the young professionals. Very active in them with them. And I'm, getting involved with more organizations and getting my name out there.
Absolutely, and we're happy you are. So, just kind of, how can people get in touch with Mom2Mom? Let's say they have needs for formulas or diapers, and I'm sure there's some people in the community who don't feel comfortable asking people.
Yeah, so we have a Facebook page. It's Mom2Mom, the number 2, Mom VA. They can send us a message. Everything we do is confidential, non-judgmental. I've been that mom, like I said before, that's had to ask for stuff, and it's not easy. And so we take the shame. There's no shame. There's no judgment. There's nothing. You tell me what you need and we get it to you. We do have an email as well. It's mom, the number 2, momva@gmail.com. And we're also on Instagram.
Oh, wonderful.
It's Mom2Mom VA on Insta.
And I've got here a phone number people can text. Is this right? 540-360-1468?
That is correct. Yep. You can text that number.
Wonderful. Well, fantastic. So, in terms of you had volunteers who have helped you, are you wanting more volunteers?
Always. I will never turn down a volunteer. Never turn down a volunteer.
What kind of things are you looking for volunteers to help you with?
We do diaper giveaways twice a month, one in Orange and one in Culpeper, just to minimize all the driving, and so I'm not driving all over the world in 80 days. So we have distributions, Culpeper and Orange.
Yeah.
And so they can come and help with that.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And so what happens at these distributions? Like, would you describe what you do 2 a month? How would you describe a typical distribution?
So a typical distribution is you would come in. I have a form that you would fill out telling me the items that you need. And once again, all of our services are confidential. And all of my volunteers will sign a confidentiality waiver as well. And if you're under the age of 18, your parent will sign your confidentiality waiver. So we're secure, we're good. But you'll come in, you'll fill out a form of everything you need, and then my volunteers will essentially shop for you.
Wonderful. Yeah.
So back here would be all of the items. You would fill out your form, take your form, go, and then they would call out your number. So you'd get a number, and they would call out your number. So it keeps it a little, it keeps
extra level of privacy,
and it keeps people's dignity.
Exactly.
Yeah, because we might know each other, but I don't know Susie over there. But I don't Susie might know my name, but she doesn't know who I am.
Yeah. So
if we do it by number, it keeps everybody's dignity intact.
Absolutely.
Which is important.
Yeah. So Mom2Mom has, as we've mentioned, been helping the community so much. And it's only been 2 years, which is incredible. Where do you see yourself in the future? Where is Mom2Mom going?
So the hope, the plan that's in the works is that eventually in the next 5 years, we will have a Central Virginia diaper bank.
Wonderful.
There are 5 diaper banks in the whole Commonwealth of Virginia, none of which are within a reasonable driving distance of the 8+ counties that I service.
Oh, wow.
So we need something here. The need, it's obviously being shown. The need is here. So that's what I plan to do, is open the Central Virginia Diaper Bank. Might not be in Culpeper. Maybe it will. I don't know. But
A more reasonable distance at the very least.
a more reasonable distance, yes. And there are programs out in the Charlottesville area. There's a program out in the Charlottesville area called Donor Diapers that I work with as well. There's a couple other organizations in Charlottesville that I work with as well. So we don't have to necessarily... Charlottesville is still on... Like, I'll still help families in Charlottesville, but the need isn't as great as it is a little closer here.
Gotcha. Well, wonderful. Well, we're really excited to see the future of Mom2Mom. Is there anything else you'd like to let the community know about your organization?
Yeah, so diaper need is real. It's your neighbors, it's your cousins, it's your family, it's your friends. Even, they might not say it, but according to Huggies and the National Diaper Bank Network back in 2019, 1 in 3 families will struggle with diaper need. That's 3 people. That's us 3 here. One of us will struggle with diaper need, and so that is real. And people don't really realize that it's a necessity for people to have diapers, and so it's important.
Absolutely, and we're happy that you're providing that to the community. And if people want to get in touch with Mom2Mom, Kirstan, they can text 540-360-1468. Like Kirstan said, diaper need is real in the community, hygiene products, and she would love to help you. She's an incredible asset to the Culpeper community, and we're happy to have her here today. So whether we see you up and around Culpeper, maybe going to the store and buying diapers to donate to Mom2Mom, or at the next 80s to 90s fundraiser dance, we hope to keep seeing you around Culpeper.